the stage is yours.
Thank you, Heiko. All right. I'm here at the manufacturing community. So who has Siemens products in the factory line? Okay, 1, 2, yeah, okay, BMW, we know. Well, it's still the minority, so there's still enough work for us and marketing and sales to promote our solutions. What I'll start is to tell about Siemens, the company, to also understand the full dimension of our challenge, because when it comes into portfolio, I mean, it's just text, and you have kind of commerce platforms and catalogs. It should be easy to bring that together. And I would say, yes, maybe in a smaller company, but we're kind of big and somewhat structured and find solutions here, but there is a challenge. So most of you know the brand Siemens for home appliances, isn't it? Washing machines, dishwasher, and so on. That's not our company anymore. Since 10 years, we don't sell it. So actually, since 20 years, we had a minority stake there. So what we are doing is digital industry, automation technology. So bringing solutions to manufacturing companies to produce things. Then we have smart infrastructure, and I'll explain also a bit in detail what that is. So smart grids and host.
Yeah, I touch you. It went off.
Okay.
It's interfering with my.
Okay. So because there's noise, I'm just moving too much. Shouldn't talk too much with that. Okay. No, smart infrastructure. Then we have mobility and Siemens Healthineers. Unfortunately, also minority stake in there, so that's going to go away. 80 billion. 270,000 most, then reducing the scope. What I'm dealing with is portfolio in digital industries and smart infrastructure. So already around about 41 billion in there. And those are some kind of the touches of technologies that we're doing. So robots, simulation, digital twin. So the factory can build faster, there are new lines and production lines, so improve on getting new models into the system. Of course, softwares are there, deeply connected, integrating here with the simulation view, also numerical processes and reducing development time for new products, because you're then testing them faster in a certain way on simulation basis. Then, of course, all these devices and connectors and sensors need to be connected. AI is in there and all that stuff. You can read it from your side. Just to give you an example, factory automation, I thought, okay, additive manufacturing might be interesting. Others call it 3D printing. That's digital industries, and we have this business unit, and one part of what they're doing is this here. So they have a total integrated automation systems. You have manufacturing, execution controller, HMI, so panels where you can control the machines and so on. And then they have use cases they're bringing together, and here the processing part of it, just to do the 3D printing on that side. Many solutions, many products, so how to find out what's going on. And then, sorry to say, it's not enough. We have motion control that have similar things in there. That's process automation, doing that in chemical and food and beverage industries, and also other software is there, customer services. So not enough. Smart infrastructure, part of what they're doing, electrification, building, automation, so all the sensors of ventilation and so on need to be integrated. Also fire protection, fire sensors, and all that is available there. Again, only a scope of it. So what do? We provide that in the marketing departments of all these departments, bring that together and show that for selected topics on the web page. Then we have an e-commerce platform where we're showing all the product details where you can order some of the things. Some are described in a way, oh, this is for this and this is for that, and so on. You find, as a technician, you need probably more details in it, so you find white papers and so on. But do we answer the question of what do you as a customer want to solve in a certain way? Yes, with the search engines, yes, we do that. But that was then the idea to come up with a new way. Who was from manufacturing at the Hanover Fair? Not this year or before? No one? Okay, so we had there also a robot running around or driving around who could answer questions to our part of the portfolio on that side. And we have, of course, also our webpage, and we've integrated there in the past one of our solutions that we provided that was taken off because as other departments did that too, we had sometimes business colleagues asked to test 3 different agents on one page, and they were confused. And by the way, when I opened up, I said, okay, it's clear. They are confused because 2 others added AI in there. What did we use in the past? Just simple RAG. So retrieval augmented generation, large language model, connected our files into it because it wasn't that complex, and gave then answers, which were quite good. But the problem was we wanted to replace actually our navigation that is classically our inside-out view. So this is our company, this is what we do, try to find your way. Try to learn our language. So we wanted to turn it around and do this conversational feature, and we succeeded here. So of course, in this example, you find an easy question, so you can do that with RAG. When it comes to a little bit more complex stuff, hold on, next page.
Inbound.
Hope it doesn't go further. I have 2 things. What's the difference? I learned about that. Challenging. That's when I came into contact with the graph method and also with Neo4j, because that was the only way of saying, okay, how can we connect unstructured information using semantic or similarity, but also with some logic in there, not just by a probabilistic method that we had in the past. The challenge there is the full scope of the information that we have, and Siemens Com, I showed a bit, it's a marketplace. We have around about 2,000 elements in there, of course, more content than just one page, but it describes this is what we want to promote, this is what we want to do. So you have there, of course, processes, described products, and so on. Then we want to show, improve. We did something that customers accepted. That's what we call in German then the references. So customer testimonials. I have to translate that always for non-German speakers. Success stories showing that also, we use this product that helped us to do this in the factory, blah, and so on, or in our smart building that was helping us. That's in there. Then the scope increases 220,000 items in our so-called C portal, our commerce platform, where you can navigate also into the system, find kind of information describing that. Then sometimes it would be good. PLM, we saw an excellent case, or 2 actually today, describing that. We want to go also in that direction, but then the dimension is like humongous, 3 million records on that side to know what status, is it still active, and can we really answer such questions, sophisticated questions like they're transferred into sales. If we offer something, is this going to run out of stock? Is this going to be still active in the next months? There's going to be a law where we're not allowed to sell and offer tenders if the product is announced to be phased out in 2 months. So we should add this information in there. We have that, but we need to connect it here in the intelligent way. And then marketing has many file repositories And that's internally used to say, okay, we have not only our text information, but flashy PowerPoint slides that can show what's going on in the problem domain that is in there, not counting what is in there. So how do we solve this topic? So from our fragments that we have here, we have semi-structured information, so tables and so on. And our team then came up and said, give me the unique ID that I can join the information. Of course, this is not possible because not all pages use that. You have only brand names there, or product names, or even written differently sometimes. So looking into that. So there's a level of discrepancy here in the tool. So semantically, one needs to join it, and of course, surprise, surprise, we need to set up a graph and an ontology to say, okay, what are the products, and we're trying to solve actually a challenge. So we normally should start the other way around. What are we trying to solve? What kind of benefits do we want to bring? And what other customers did use that classical graph topic in that side. And the reason is that this helps us also to ground all the AI answers that are coming in that into this deterministic view. Of course, for other use cases, one has to design it differently, and this is just indicative. We will grow this. I'm happy to learn about this virtual graph possibility in the future. So, Christopher, there will be new items. I will also then hand over later on to Christopher from Neo4j, who helped us to really get onto the right track and get the solution here. If you go to the Siemens.com page, we're not ready there, so we're not live. We're working on that because we'll have to do the full testing, but there were other engines implemented at that time, and now we see that the demand of having more complex questions being answered by our solution is there, so we will do this by end of this fiscal year, which is around about September. That's when we plan to do that. So how can we do that information? Neo4j has many experts, not only Christopher, but also I think Alex Gilmer is one, also very famous for posting things here on that side. And I ran into that and said, okay, so attending some of the conferences helps because you learn new things. And that's where I learned this chunking of information of documents. So fits to us. So we can take any kind of document, even our semi-structured, let me call it tables, that are different depending on which source we have, which business unit we are having to integrate that. And you can take that information and actually chunk it, relate it to the chunk before, and then you map it at the end to from the lexical part to the domain of the business challenge. So our graph, in the sense of, I expect in marketing to find kind of products that are doing this with features and so on. There's actually also a very good lab from, I was challenging you here on that one, lab of Neo4j, where one can drop documents in there and reads out the ontology consistently, and one can test that. So I use that quite often, and we found, hey, always very similar. What a coincidence. We have always these kind of questions. So for other things, I would like to experiment directly, not only in the lab in there. That's a thing for the future. And how this works is described in this architectural program. So we have some data loading or chunking the information, of course, putting the graph schema. So we're seeding that together with the questions and expected answers in to the system, and the text embedder is coming. So now these things are very small to read and hard to read, and that's why it's a good point to introduce Christopher from Neo4j, who will guide you through the rest and explain it in more elaborate way than I can do. Please.
Okay, thanks, Michael, so far. Hello. Yeah, so as already introduced, I'm Christopher. I'm from the Neo4j internal professional services. So we are a team of consultants that helping the customer to get value out of Neo4j and to get successful with their solutions. So I stepped in a few months ago into your project and first looked on, okay, what they are currently doing, what is the aim here, what is the use case, and then I started to give some advices on how we can build up this whole architecture to bring the value at the end, to have at the end an agent that can answer questions about product portfolio. So where I can drop some requirements, I need a solution that handles whatever things, and then it provides you, okay, here are 3 solutions of Siemens with the respective links to the documents, to the pages that may solve your questions there. And before, I mean, there is a lot of things happening there, and I just picked out one interesting thing that I want to present today, and this is how we, from a technical perspective, how we implemented our reactive agent there, which sits in the back end of this particular solution here. And we choose LangChain because it means well integrated in the whole AI dimensions, and choose the reactive agent there, and provided this agent in our case now your 6 different tools that fulfill a certain purpose, each of them. Now on the lower part, we have the Neo4j database, which includes all this portfolio information, the benefits, reference projects, but also the message history of what the users already asked, and so on. So that's everything we store in the database. Yeah, and now the React agent is waiting for questions from the users, and then has the task to select the right tools for different purposes. And so we started to split all of the available questions that Michael came into mind. Okay, there are different types of questions, and therefore we designed those tools that each of the tools follows or goes into the category of particular questions. And I brought a few of them and want to explain with these questions those different tools here. One type of questions is it is dedicated to one specific product, or sometimes also 2 products. What do we know about this particular product? And therefore, the agent is able to choose our first tool, which returns a product context from the graph, and uses there a full text index on the description and the title of the portfolio items. That means now in this case, the agent would choose this tool, provides as a parameter the product name here, and then the tool connects to the knowledge graph. It picks out via the full text index relevant nodes, which are the product items, and its surrounding and the context, which benefits they provide, are there reference projects to it, are they connected to other portfolio items, and so on. And this whole context is then delivered back to the agent, and the agent can give a quite good answer about this particular product, including the link to that product and any other sources it has. So this is I think the most simple one. Then we have 2 other tools, which is more working on a semantical level. That means the user now asks for something. Okay, how can building operators implement an HVAC control that adapts occupancy patterns? So there are multiple conditions inside, some the benefits that need to achieve, some things that the solution should fulfill. And having a question like this, the agent would choose one, or probably would choose one of those 2 tools. One is using, on the left side, is using the Neo4j integrated vector index. So we created on the document chunks embeddings. So the agent would embed this user questions, searching in the vector index for the relevant chunks, and then connecting, and this is the plus traversal part that I put here, is then starting from that chunk and exploring the graph and this respective context, so the neighborhood of that chunks and finding like the right portfolio items fulfilling this thing. Yeah, so this is one tool that is available using our internal vector index. And in addition, it also has like a full text index that it might be that the agent decides to pick out terms of this question, for example, HVAC, occupancy patterns and weather conditions, and inputs those 3 terms to our full text index sitting on the same chunks. Yeah? So it returns also documents or chunks with its context, but without using much of tokens for creating embeddings and so on. So this is a really fast solution. So the agent can decide by itself like which of those tools is it using, or maybe it starts with the left one and then tries the right one. Yeah, that depends on the system prompt that you add to the directive agent at the end. Yeah, so this is one for like those kind of semantical questions. Then we have like questions that like specify Siemens internal product IDs. I mean, I think there's a dedicated name for this. I always forgot it, how it's called. I think it's also some German abbreviation inside.
MLFB, but also our foreign colleagues call it MLFB, Maschinenlesbare Fabrikate-Gruppe. So it's from the 90s.
Yeah,
if you tell them part number, what? I don't know. So, I mean, I have also sales ask, okay, what's the abbreviation? What's order? And so, you're from sales, you must know order. It was in Spain.
Yeah.
Auftragseingang in German. AE. So that's how sometimes German terms and abbreviations persist, even though nobody calls it in the documentation. No technical thing is in there. It's all called article number. But here, go back.
The language.
So we need a translation for even an abbreviation simple as that.
Yeah. So that means like at the end, our knowledge graph knows those numbers. Yeah, those numbers are attached to products and so on. And if the agent receives a question where such this kind of I just call them product IDs are mentioned, then it knows, okay, like in the tool description of that particular tool, it is dedicated to find out products that have this product number. So that means there we have like just a query template that knows on which properties those product IDs are living in the graph. And then it picks out that nodes and also the context around it and delivers it back to the agent. Yeah. And for example, here, if 2 numbers are mentioned, okay, then this tool is called twice. Yeah, with both of the numbers, the result is handed back to the agent, and the agent can give you like a good summary of what are the differences here between those 2 products. Yeah. So we have like one tool dedicated to those product IDs. So the second last tool is because we're also storing reference projects, yeah, so which projects using particular products for their solutions. So that means if the agent receives a question like this, we're used at the project, I just called it Building X. I think in this case it's also like a product name, so maybe a bad example. But yeah, so it's dedicated to a reference project. So we're having here again like a query template using the full text index of Neo4j, but on sitting on the title, the descriptions, beneficiaries of the reference projects. So that means what the tool delivers here are the reference project nodes of the graph and its connected product items, and delivering this back to the directive agent. So the answer is something like this is the reference project, it's using those products and it leads to those benefits and so on. And last but not least, last tool, I know it's really technical, but maybe it gives you like a good intuition of how we would design like an agent like this, is then for any other question I just called it. Yeah, that means if the agent finds out, okay, this particular question I cannot answer with the other tools, it always have like, it's not just a fallback solution, but it is can handle like an arbitrary amount of different questions. And this is like the text to cipher retriever that we also have like in our Neo4j GraphRag Python package that is public available. And what it's doing is it grabs the schema of the graph. So there's a first query grabbing the schema of the graph database plus some example cipher queries, so that we created, yeah, so like a natural language question and its according cipher query next to it. Yeah, that means the schema plus those examples it uses as an input, and then it generates a Cypher query that tries to answer that particular question. And then at the end, it executes this query and returns the result back to the agent. Yeah, if you prompt the agent really well, it could try this like 2 or 3 times until it finds like a good query answering that question. And here in this case, for example, a Cypher query could look like this. Yeah? So it matches a portfolio item, targets this particular industry, and a reference project uses those portfolio items and then setting some names and so on. Like this could be like a Cypher question that was generated by this particular tool. It's executed, and then the context is like given back to the reactive agent to answer that particular question. So that's from my technical side. Like I said, I was really happy to get involved into that project. I always will offer this, or I want to offer this also for you. So if you need some help directly from Neo4j, professional services there to help you, so please feel free to contact us. We are not giving just like technical advisories, but we also doing like hands-on development as I have done. Yeah, so I'm also like sitting there and writing some code, making suggestions there, but also inform about product updates and making solution reviews. So when you have developed something, we could look over the code, over your solution, and then giving you some suggestions what you could make better, what you already make good. So this is what I have done here also, particular at this project.
Right.
Yeah. So thanks, and then I will hand over to you for the last slide.
After the commercial break, thank you very much. But it's clear, I think it was also valuable for you to see from the one who really built it how one can leverage that, not only slideware. Okay, for us at Siemens, the context is relevant, so we get all the information. That's the advantage altogether. We have deeper reasoning possibilities, and it just outperforms our standard RAG for complex questions. Of course, we have some room for development to be faster also on complex things. So for that, we are building up also testing framework and evaluation system in order to look into that. It's all new to the team, so we're trying to learn and keep up with all the possibilities that are there and to bring that into context. What we've seen here, accuracy gain is really definitely a lot better. Even other very fast agents in there were looking into documents that find very fast information but hallucinated for things where we're saying, okay, I want to have a customer reference that was solving this and that problem, and it found the right page, but it mixed up with another use case on that side. So the standard RAG doesn't really get it done for such cases, and that's where our graph solution is definitely better. And we have large scope, so we can grow on that side. What you saw at the beginning with the internet page indicated they would limit it to only the marketplace for the start. So we would actually reduce what we have in order just to answer questions on that side for a conversational agent. And that's one of the next topics we're doing, and hope to see that come live within a couple of months. And for other topics, I'm open for your questions here.
Thank you, Michael. We can take 2 questions if anybody has any, otherwise we won't be forward. Yes.
Maybe for first of all, you work without was full text search or full text index. You can have any problems with like when you use on this type product name or something like that?
I mean,
I tested it, no, but that's my impression. So, but here the expert.
It's hard to answer that. So, I mean, the good thing about the full text index is that the agent can use any capabilities of the Lucene connection. So it can like concatenate different buzzwords with and or conditions and all of those stuff. and then you get like a probabilistic like result back, like the top K answered, and then the agent has to decide, is this answer like good? Does it contains maybe the answers to my question, that it refers to products that seems fine, or should I use maybe the vector tool sitting next to it to try it again? So that depends a bit on the capabilities of the agent. But this you can find out with a good evaluation data set, where you define your golden questions and your answers that you expect. You run it against those agents, and then you see, okay, where are the limitations and where it's doing really pretty well. And then you can fine adjust all those things. And this is like, you should not underestimate this part of evaluating and fine tuning. This is it's really time consuming, but it's worth it then in the end.
Good, thanks. Another question? Yes,
I have one. So it's more not a technical question, but more an organizational one. Did you encounter or do you expect issues in getting the data from the different departments?
Definitely, because during our time, they were looking always for the big table and IDs, and I'm coming from strategy, marketing, sales, and so on. And I told them, you won't find them. So I was always asked to give me the table, and then project master data, they have all that. And we have also a mixed team of experience, let me put it that way. Some read the name product master data, so must contain everything. 3 million data records. Yeah, but not the marketing information, just a short description of the tool, and brand name, sometimes even written differently because we have so many of those items. Yes, it's difficult to get them, so you have to ring the right doorbell. And but there's willingness also to support that. So from especially here C Portal, we got the information which is gigabyte size of file in XML coming in there, so that's no problem. Another topic is looking at the other platforms. They're changing. The organization changed. Were merged from 2 into 1. They chose a third tool, and we were cut off. So we have to sometimes rebuild again the things. That's due to organizational change. So this will continue also in the future, I think, because also the tools there will be fed in different way, but connecting, so especially also to the files which have more information in that context, will help us to get there, because they're not that fast outdated. And actually here we can answer faster, because in the repository one can see if files are archived, and we exclude them by saying prefer than one document that is still living and working and up to date. In short, yes, it is a challenge and will continue to be one.
Thank you. Michael? Well,
Yeah, just a quick remark, because I think it's also really interesting for that use case. On the agent page of all the tools that Christopher explained, on the bottom left, there was a small piece of information which is interesting, which was the chat history, message history, right? And currently we are also pushing this to be part of a best practice, actually, because one topic arises as fast as we have never seen it before. And the topic is total savings, right? That is interesting for every company out there now, because now they really see how expensive the fall for is. You're working on a message history as part of the Neo4j rack of the managed graph can help you with the total savings, right? That's really interesting. If you want to mingle about this, then please approach.
No, it's important. I mean, we have also attempts, fraudulent attempts when we were on the page that were sending gibberish information, trying to force us to consume tokens. So, of course, we identify that. But then you have a lot of conversations that you have to throw away. So you have, again, some effort. It costs us not token, but time and patience on that side.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
thank you.